Imagine a sauce so powerful, it flavored an entire empire. It smelled terrible, looked questionably odd, yet the Romans couldn't stop pouring it on everything. This is garum, the fermented fish sauce that dominated Roman tables. To understand garum, we need to step into a Roman kitchen 2,000 years ago. No stoves, no fridges, no cans, just fire, clay pots, and a lot of imagination. The Mediterranean was their supermarket, and fish were everywhere. Out of that sea, the Romans concocted a secret weapon of flavor, a salty, punchy liquid crafted from rotting fish. Here's how garum was born. Start with small fish, anchovies, sardines, or those leftover bits that nobody really wanted. Curious how that works? You're about to find out. Layer them in big clay vats or stone tanks with an obscene amount of salt. Then leave that fishy, salty mess under the hot Mediterranean sun for weeks or even months. Enzymes and bacteria spring into action. The fish begins to break down, and then surprise, a golden brown liquid starts to seep out. Can you believe it? That liquid, the clear top layer, was the good stuff. Yes, that was. Garum. Yes, the Romans basically invented luxury fish juice. Can you believe that? And they poured it on almost everything: meats, vegetables, stews, even wine in some recipes. To them, garum wasn't gross. It was umami, long before the word even existed. And get this, there were budget-friendly versions made just for the everyday crowd, crafted from fish guts and scraps. And then there were the expensive, meticulously filtered versions for the wealthy. These were sold in elegant clay jars. Did you know that some premium garum was so prized? It was shipped across the empire in branded containers, complete with fancy labels carved right into the clay. Burden Etchwood 2, designer fish sauce complete with a logo. The centers of garum production? Coastal hubs like Bailo Claudia in Spain, Pompeii in Italy, and towns along North Africa. Can you believe it? Huge factories lined the shore. Stone vats filled with layers of fish and salt bubbling under the sun. Can you believe it? From there, ships carried amphorae of garum to Rome, to Gaul, and even as far as distant Britain. Can you believe it? If Rome ran on bread and oil, it was flavored by garum. And it wasn't just about taste. Garum meant serious money. A successful garum factory owner could become extremely wealthy, joining the elite despite working with, yes, you heard it, rotten fish. Some brands became famous, like the garum of Carthago Nova in Spain, proudly mentioned on AMPOA, found all over Europe. I imagine walking into a Roman market. Merchants are shooting, spices waft through the air, fresh bread, and yes, that unmistakable, funky aroma of garum. Wow, what a scene. So, how bad did it really smell? And St. Ritters joked about the eye-watering stench near garum factories. And guess what? Cities often pushed them to the outskirts downwind if they were smart. Here's the twist. The final sauce, once filtered and bottled, wasn't necessarily disgusting. Like modern fish sauce or blue cheese, the smell was strong. But the flavor, complex, savory, and absolutely addictive. Can you believe it? Garum was so cherished that even doctors used it as medicine. Yes, they prescribed it for ulcers, digestion, and even as a disinfectant. Wow! People mixed it with wine, honey, and spices to create custom sauces and marinades. It's fascinating, right? In Roman cookbooks, especially the intriguing collection attributed to Apicius, garum pops up in recipe after recipe, surprisingly essential and delightfully constant. If a dish needed salt complexity or a flavor boost, the answer was almost always the same: add garum. So with all this success, how did garum disappear? When the Western Roman Empire collapsed in the 5th century, trade routes, breakdown, and large-scale factories slammed their doors shut. Surprising, right? Who would have thought? New powers rose, taste changed, and the complex world that once kept garum flowing simply fell apart. But garum didn't vanish completely, it evolved. In modern Southeast Asia, fish sauces like nuoc mam and nample are made in ways surprisingly similar to ancient garum. In the Mediterranean, you'll find colatura di Alisi in Italy and other local fish sauces that echo that same salty fermented punch. Archaeologists have recreated garum using actual recipes from Roman texts and ruins of ancient factories. Food historians taste it to get closer to the world of ancient Rome. Imagine that. They describe it as rich, deep, and surprisingly delicious. But can you get past what it's actually made from? So, if we dropped a bottle of garum onto a modern dinner table, would people love it or hate it? Well, if you've ever enjoyed a Caesar salad dressing or savored Worcestershire sauce or had a dish with fish sauce, surprise! You've already tasted its descendants. Who knew? The Romans weren't just weird for loving garum, they were early adopters, savoring a flavor that humans still crave today. Isn't that fascinating? Garum is a reminder that behind every civilization's greatness, there's always something bubbling away in a barrel, quietly changing history. So next time you add a splash of fish sauce or a dash of Worcestershire, remember, you're tasting a little bit of Rome. Would you dare to try authentic ancient garum if you had the chance? Day any ask Kate. And if you enjoyed this dive into Roman food, hit like and subscribe for more surprising tales from history's dinner table.